Do you realize this is 2 days in a row of One More and I'm Out of Here podcast?
Like a record.
And I just want to start off by saying that all three of us sitting here were wrong yesterday.
I was close.
No, you weren't.
I
close.
was fucking close.
No, you weren't.
Closest. I was the final score.
No, you said they would score, what, 10 points?
I said 35-10. What was the final score?
Well, it wasn't 35. They scored like 24 points.
What was the final? No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. They scored 3 late touchdowns, cosmetic touchdowns.
I was good. I was
Bengals.
I was
Bengals
good
suck.
on the Lions. I was good on the Lions
say?
side.
What'd you say?
38.
What was it?
It was like 37, I think. I missed the Bengals. The Bengals scored way more points than I thought they would. But
I said there would be a safety, and there was a safety. But the safety was on the
I did.
Bengals.
You did actually say that. You did. You said.
I did say that.
You did say that.
I felt there was a safety coming, and I was right about it.
But
no, we were all. But look, the Bengals suck, so I don't want to talk about the Bengals.
You mean you
and
didn't?
Pappas, I have things
I
I want to get to today, and so we can just dispense with your fully wang here.
You're fully
all right.
Is he fully?
You're
is he fully wanged?
My fully wang?
You're fully wang.
Like,
Ask.
is that one of your broadcast words
that comes from our buddy. That comes from our buddy Zeke Arkham.
Okay.
I love that that particular word, so I use it from time to time.
I've never heard of that.
He's given me permission to use that word.
I haven't heard Zeke say that
in the appropriate circumstances.
I've got to text my parents when the show's starting.
Now I'm looking at something really hilarious right now. Anyway, let's go. Our friends on the left are all bent out of shape today because Pete Hegseth, while we were podcasting yesterday, was giving a speech to men and women of the Navy. And he said this phrase that has got the panties of David Hogg and some others on the left in a major twist today.
The fact you said panties and hog in the same sentence just made me giggle.
David Hogg does wear panties. Yeah. I will agree with that.
So let's go ahead and listen to Pete Hegseth, and then we'll kick around what he had to say.
We'll kick it around.
Kick it around. Let's get the one more about here.
Or whatever it was.
That's Zeke Arkham.
I don't know what it is.
Nobody in the world does it better than the United States Navy. Always remember this. Fact. You are not civilians. You are different. Sailors, SEALs, Marines, you were set apart for a distinct purpose. Your diversity is not your strength. Your strength is your unity of purpose, your shared mission, your love of country. Generation after generation, battle after battle, ship after ship, sailor after sailor, you have set the tone.
So there's Pete Hegseth right there. Your diversity is not your strength.
Oh, they have.
And so the left is having an absolute conniption over this because, oh my God,
sucks to be that.
Heaven forbid that we say diversity is. How many times have we heard the Kamala Harrises of the world and the Joe Bidens and the Obamas and all this? Oh, well, we're strong because of our diversity. That's complete crap. Diversity is good for your investment portfolio. But when it comes to fighting wars, diversity is not strength. And if they would just listen to the other part of that soundbite right there instead of stopping when he says diversity is not your strength. What did he say? Your unity. Your common purpose,
right? Yep.
Your as a unit, you're focused. He said your sailors, your Marines, your what do you say? Seabees, your what's the other one? The real badasses.
Oh, the SEALs.
The SEALs. That sounds like diversity to me. There's a lot of different within the United States Navy. There's a lot of diverse subsets in there. So, but they all have what? The common purpose. The common focus, love of country. That is a uniting factor that means more than anything else than skin color. With the left, diversity goes no farther really than the way your eyes look or the color of your hair or your genitalia or the color of your skin. All those really meaningless things, but, when things that are just on the surface. When you talk about things that really matter, it really matters what's deep down inside and what's in your heart and what's in your mind and what's in your soul. That's the kind of diversity that we're talking about. Skin color, sexual orientation, all that bullshit. The military doesn't have time for that. This military doesn't have time for that. And you can sit there and pretend all day long that this made our military stronger and better because, we wanted to have, drag queen story time in Department of Defense schools. That crap is gone now. That we want to have sex change operations for people. I've seen so many people post these videos about how they got in the military so they get their free sex change operation.
Right.
I mean, that does nothing to enhance readiness or esprit de corps or anything like that. So all you got to do is listen to what Pete Hegseth said. And before we get to Andrew's comments, which I'm sure he has, I want to play this guy. There was one guy that I found on the internet that was on my X feed, and he had an awesome take on this. Not that one, not that one, not that one.
You sent me a ton.
I know. I sent you a ton of
videos.
videos. We've got a ton of videos to get to today. But this guy right here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
this was amazing.
I don't know this guy's name, but this guy says it. I really can't say it better than this guy. So I will just let him say it.
And I'm glad you segued that into that one because with the diversity and everything else and how divided we are as a country. This guy sums it up.
Anyone who might know who this guy is, please let us know because I'd love to have this guy on the show.
The past 3 days, man, I've been sitting around just listening to this guy, Charlie Kirk's message, because every single place that I hear, especially from black people, is that this man was a racist. And I'm putting this on everything, man. You guys need to be ashamed of yourself. To listen to the lies that this man is somehow pushing some racist.
He's actually talking about Charlie Kirk here, but it still works.
I heard him say some of the most uplifting things about black people. I listened to countless interviews of friends of his that were black that spoke so highly of this man. And they talked about his cause as though it was the coming of Jesus. And the more I'm watching this, the more I tend to agree with it. This man's message was pure. It was not a message of hate. It was a message of unity, a message of you are not a slave anymore. Anything that God put you here on this earth to do, you can do it. He sent so many young black kids to the White House to get the political experience. Man, I think I just barely scratched the surface as to what this guy's purpose was. But I said, I think we lost a good one. And the fact that he will go down in history as a racist by half of this country, man, I think that it's a shame. I really think it's a shame. I pray for us, and I hope that we heal, man, because the people who push this, and the fact that they know that you won't go and check, and they can just say anybody's racist, and they know that you are not going to go and check. They got you, man. They got us all, actually. This country could be so much better, man. So much better. The power and greed, I'm telling you. Something else. Y'all take it easy, man.
So even though that guy was talking about Charlie Kirk, I think it still fits because
it totally fits.
It's the same thing because when so many of those on the left, when they want to argue or try to make a point, they stop. Right? They stop when someone on MSNBC said Charlie Kirk is a racist, so it must be true. Right. Pete Hegseth said your diversity is not your strength. Well, we can't have that. They don't do any digging on their own. Here's a guy who probably didn't know who Charlie Kirk was all that much. Heard all this stuff about him.
And that's why he said it. He took 2 days and went through.
I'm going to
watch all of it.
And he went and looked at his on his own and came to his own conclusion. And really, I think that's all I ask of anyone is to look at it on your own, come to your own conclusion, and then make your own points, make your own arguments. Pappas, what say you?
First of all, that guy speaks for a lot of people that's just a great point of view because he's exactly right. He knows, they know you're not going to go and do any research on your own. You're just going to take what they, and that's what they bank on. They bank that you're going to be lazy. I mean, I can't tell you the number of people in comments on posts that are like, oh, racist, blah, 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 racist this, racist that. And I'm like, did you ever listen to the guy? And to be fair, I've said it many times, and I've had this said to me many times. When Charlie Kirk was alive, he was actually directing his message to a younger crowd. I was a little bit older and was not his target audience. He was speaking to college age kids. And, so I listened, I knew of him, but I did not listen to every one of his podcasts or his messages. Now that he's passed away, his message is being shared to such a broad group of people that are like, man, where has this guy been? Why didn't I listen to him? And I hope people do their research. There was I sent Jason a photograph today of something I posted that really is resonating with a lot of people, and it deals with Charlie Kirk. So it'll be a nice segue into kind of what we're talking about. And this captures how I still feel about that whole.
Trying to remember which one it is.
It's one of them. I don't think it's the black one. I think it's the white one. I think. Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. So, I mean,
I just can't see him over here.
It's if you read this, and I wonder if people feel the same way. I'm genuinely still struggling with the reality that I saw thousands of leftists celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination, even though all he ever did was engage students in honest conversation. I'll never unsee that, and I'll never get over it. And that's a darkness I can't shake. And that guy, Mark Van Swole. I just saw it on the internet, and it hit a nerve with me. And that's the main thing. And it's the same thing this guy's talking about. The darkness that they know that he wasn't about hate. They also very clearly know that what Hegseth was talking about wasn't about, in any negative fashion. The military, they take a bunch of different people, and what do, Dan? They make them into one unit, right?
Absolutely.
So that we don't have black sailors and white sailors. You're just American sailors.
When I went to basic training in the Air Force, there was all kinds of diversity. I mean, we were all guys, but there was all kinds of diversity. And I had met people from different parts of the country that I had never encountered before in my life. And I had to figure out a way to work with them and have that unity of purpose that Pete Hegseth talked about.
You became a team.
And that's what the military teaches.
You become a team, right? You're members of a team. And that's what he's talking about.
Right.
And for them and they know very well what he's talking about. But
sure they do.
I find that the older I get and the more I'm around leftists and the left, I'm just amazed that they really, not to get biblical on you, but they love to deceive. They thrive on deception. They thrive on just deceiving people. And it does trouble me greatly, because I think we're at a very, what this guy said, we could be so much better if we just listen to his words, and that he's using Charlie Kirk, for example. But man, that message resonates. You know what I mean? We could be so much better if, instead of listening to the talking heads, and that probably goes on both sides here, but right now we are being deceived by one side, and or at least in this instance on one side. And I would say there's people probably listening to this show that probably don't listen or haven't even put the effort into listening to what Charlie Kirk said and draw their own conclusions by what they might have seen on MSNBC or CNN or something like that. So yeah, I love that you found that guy, and if we could find out who he is, I was trying to read his name in the thing. Said I am something. His last name was Killican or something like that.
I'll have to go back and look.
But yeah, if we can somehow find him, I'd love to. We may have absolutely nothing in common with him at the beginning of the show, and I bet you by the end of the show, we probably agree on 90% of shit.
Yeah, and to go back to Hegseth's speech, and I think I said it yesterday. The rank and file are believing in this. They're believing in the message that the leader, or call it the Secretary of War, is coming out and saying it, and the President of the United States, and what he's saying. The rank and file of the military, for the most part, and granted, you're gonna have people that don't agree, and that's okay, and that's why this country is what it is. But you're in the military, you're gonna form those bonds, and you're gonna go do the work of purpose that Hegseth's talking about. But everybody that I have talked to that is former military or current military, they're like, we're loving this. We're absolutely loving it.
Yeah, but the press is always going to go find that one guy.
Correct.
The one general that might have gotten his, might be a little bit portly and got his feelings hurt or whatever. And they're going to focus on him, trying to make him out to be the rule rather than the exception, because they're going to deceive you. And, on the left, we have a lot of hate being spread by the left, a lot of hate. I think that the Charlie Kirk story or event brought it to the surface because they were.
I call it an assassination.
It was an assassination, and but my point is the reaction to it by the left, celebrating, relishing, bathing in it. And for example, I see Dan's got a story pulled up he wants to read about. It's now to the point where their candidates are espousing hateful stuff, and yet they're still viable candidates for office.
Well, and the point I want to make about this is that we are sitting here today and we are being very critical of the Democrat Attorney General candidate, Jay Jones, who is running for Attorney General in the state of Virginia. And he was texting someone about the then House Speaker in Virginia, Todd Gilbert. He's a Republican. This dude is a Democrat, and he wished death upon Gilbert's children. And he said this in a text message, and
his family and his children, including his children.
Isn't it interesting though, when the curtain gets revealed on so many of these liberal Democrats, they're always saying nasty shit like this. Yeah. Remember when we had the Gang of Five scandal in Cincinnati?
One of them is our current congressman.
Yeah. And they were just talking the nastiest shit about Chris Smitherman's wife.
Right.
There was one text message, and these were all these were not meant for public consumption.
No, they thought they were they thought they were behind the scenes.
But they were saying stuff about I think there was a group of Chinese students that was addressing city council that day, and they were making fun of the way they spoke. Their English. Yeah, and the most childish, dehumanizing stuff you can imagine.
And you rewarded one of them by electing them to the United States Congress.
And these are all liberal Democrats. Who again they probably have their panties in a twist because Pete Hegseth said diversity is not your strength.
The other thing
look what happens when you reveal what they really think. This is the kind of stuff that they say.
Well, and they're the ones that get on their high horse and judge you if you like they're judging Hegseth now. And they're the biggest bunch of hypocrites you'll ever meet in your life. And they do say, you might have been criticized in the past for saying things you say on air, but you people know where you stand. People know where I stand because I was a public official. I'm not anymore, thank God. But I mean, my point is, I'm mean or I'm gruff or I'm whatever. But yet they go on their private pages or they go on where they think no one's looking. And they say the most vile, disgusting stuff that I would never say privately. I wouldn't think like they think. Mm-hmm. But I say, what I say, I'm happy and proud to say in the light of day, as you are, as Jason is. What you see on this show, what you see on this podcast, this is us. I mean, this is how we are. Yeah. We're not going to talk. It's not like the microphone's caught and we're like, oh, yeah, we really fooled them that time. You're getting real us. What you get primarily on the left, and we're speaking of our Congressman Greg Landsman, who was part of the Gang of Five that, seemed to somehow come through it to the point where the Democrats rewarded him with a endorsement, and then he won the race. And now he's our tattooed congressman, which makes me sick. But, they don't hold their own accountable. If a Republican, burps wrong, oh, my God, we got to crucify him. But a Democrat says something like this guy. Let me ask you a question. Has the Democrat Party denounced this guy?
Absolutely not.
Is he still a viable candidate for district attorney of the state of, what's he out for? District attorney? Attorney General for the state of Virginia. And they have not denounced him or said, you know what, you can't run because you know why? It's too late to put somebody else. And for a Democrat, the means The ends justify the means. So they will endorse this guy. They will stand behind this guy and hope that he wins in Virginia.
Here's a piece that was posted in the Federalist late this afternoon. The Democrat candidate for Virginia Attorney General Jay Jones fantasized about murdering Republicans in newly released text messages. Despite the egregious messages, Democrats are doubling down on their support for Jones. In a 2022 exchange with Republican House Delegate Kerry Coyner, Jones said it would be a good thing if the children of his former colleague, Republican House Speaker Todd Gilbert, would die.
Unbelievable.
3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know. He receives both bullets every time. Joyner said in a message. Coyner, who got the message, pushed back on him, saying that he shouldn't say things like that.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
So
You shouldn't say that.
So
why would you hope someone? I mean, you may not like somebody. All right.
Yeah.
Wishing them death is sick enough, but why would you go to? I mean, what's up with what did their kids do to him? Anything? Their kids.
So the gal who's running for candidate or governor there, Abigail Spanberger, against Winsome Sears, who, if you don't know who Winsome Sears is,
She's fantastic.
Just an amazing, amazing story, and just
so many ways.
Just unbelievably intelligent and brilliant. Isn't that amazing? Here's an articulate, well-spoken, super intelligent Black woman who was an legal immigrant, from Jamaica, I believe, to the United States, and becomes lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
And I remember when she was making a speech on election night, MSNBC cut her off.
Yeah.
About 30 seconds into her speech.
Yeah.
Didn't want to hear what she had to say.
No,
How much time has she been given on national platforms? I've seen her on Fox News a number of times.
Zero.
But ABC, CBS, NBC, and what do they talk about all the time? Diversity.
If she was a Democrat, she'd be presidential material.
Yeah.
Well, other than the fact that
she can't be
immigrant,
president,
but she'd be, you know what I mean? She'd be put in that same group of people.
Yeah.
But my point is that if she was a Democrat, she'd be hailed by them because she checks all the boxes. But because she's conservative, the boxes don't matter. So we remove the boxes and we say she doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Sadly.
So there's a fair comment up there.
What's that? You got to ask the voters that. I mean, you got to ask the Democrat Party that. That's a great.
That is an excellent
point.
That is an excellent observation.
For the audio listeners, Joe Billy 007, who I may or may not know, how can he be the AG overseeing state prosecutions of murderers when you're dreaming of murdering a political opponent yourself? Which is
to a Democrat that
very,
doesn't
very nice.
matter, Jill.
Good work.
So he's going to remain on the ballot, and depending on how the gubernatorial race, maybe it might carry him over the line because I did see that Winsome Sears is behind in the polls, which is sad for the people of Virginia. But again, some people party affiliation means everything, and they go in and check the box. You should not vote for this guy. This is a sick person.
So Abigail Spanberger, who's running for governor, was asked about this. She said, well, I spoke frankly with Jay about my disgust about what he said.
I would have changed my last name.
I probably would
have.
She said, I made it clear to Jay that he must fully take responsibility for his words.
What does that mean?
So when it comes to Democrats taking responsibility, well, then she's essentially saying that he's got to own it, but he shouldn't face any consequences.
Well, Spanberger is
what he said.
Is the Democrat.
Yeah, she's the Democrat.
Who's
running against Winsome Sears.
I spoke with Jay. And he's got to take responsibility. How about this, Abby? I spoke with Jay, and I suggested he drop out of the race because I really don't want somebody as vile and disgusting as him either on my ticket or in my administration. How about that?
That's not what she said, though.
I understand that. Yeah. How about that?
Although she did call for Trump to resign because he said
exactly
on January 6th, you will peacefully and patriotically go to the to the House and make your voices heard.
If Democrats didn't have double standards, they'd have no damn standards at all.
But when Trump says he needs to withdraw, Trump's the fucking asshole.
Right. She pivots it to Trump. And then Virginia Beach Democrats put out a statement reaffirming full support of Jay Jones.
Despite past mistakes.
Yeah.
Wishing someone's children dead.
Democratic committees of Virginia's 2nd Congressional District also doubled down on full support for Jay Jones.
Of course they did. And there's only one reason why. The only reason why is it's too late to replace him on the ballot.
A letter
why.
by the Accomack County Democrat Committee, the Chesapeake Democrat Committee, Franklin Democrat Committee, Isle of Wright County Democrat Committee, Northampton County Democrat Committee, Southampton, Suffolk Democrat Committee, the Virginia Beach Democrat Committee, all signed a letter saying, let those without sin cast the first stone.
Let me ask you.
The Bible is always the last refuge of the scoundrel.
That's right. Well, they're
I
quoting
don't know
the Bible.
who said that, but it's a quote.
They're quoting the Bible
fucking
there,
rich.
but you can't put a Bible in schools, and you can't put the Ten Commandments up. They
But
don't
it suits
like
their
that.
purposes.
Suits
The
their-
Bible
they
is
run to the
just
Bible.
fine. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Isn't there a separation of church and state?
Let me ask you a question. Did he ask for forgiveness? Did he say he was sorry for saying those words? I have not heard him
I
say
have
that.
not read nor heard anything that has been walked back.
No, but this is what Democrats do. See how they twist things. They are the party. This is going to offend somebody.
I think he did say he was sorry. I think he said he was disgusted by it, and then he's very, very sorry.
Oh, very sorry.
Very sorry.
You know how you show how you're sorry?
Yeah.
You step down.
Yeah.
You step down. Because Jilly Billy's right. Can you imagine if you're convicted of a crime and this is the guy that's prosecuting you, his office? You're like, well, I just did what he said.
Well, that fucking appeals court's going to be busy as fuck.
No, it won't fly. But I mean, my point is just the double standard here. And you should actually, shame on the Democrats. You should expect better. Why would you want to hold this guy up as somebody to emulate?
He also reportedly suggested he wished Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms.
God, what a sick freak.
So that Gilbert might reconsider his political views. All this, talk
politics.
like this over what?
Politics.
Over politics.
Politics.
You go down. You
This
go down
is like
that
a sick
shithole.
Lifetime movie.
I mean, what an absolute jerk.
What a shithole.
I mean, he really is just a jerk. Just a
jerk
flat out
jerk. Jerk is being
Yeah.
kind. But the people of Virginia have a chance. Well, let me ask you a question. Who does that speak worse of? The party or the people that are going to go in there and elect this guy? Seriously, does that say a lot more about where we're at?
That's a
as
very
a
fair
society?
question.
I mean, this guy is going to go in there. He hasn't stepped down, and people are going to walk in there and be like, "Yeah, I like
he's a
that
Democrat.
guy.
I'm going to vote for him.
He's a Democrat. I've been told to vote for him. I'm going to
Right.
vote for him." So where are we at? My point is,
Give
where are we at as a
give me my
society?
blue sheet, and I'm just going to start checking.
Yeah, where are
boxes.
we at as a society if this is who you're electing to be your leader?
Well, and they want to say that people that support Trump are part of a cult. And I've said it before. When it comes to Democrats, especially the left, the agenda trumps everything.
Well, the ends
Doesn't matter
justify the
what's
means.
right.
That's right.
Doesn't matter what's wrong.
There is no
As
right.
long as you're advancing the agenda, then you're in good standing. And they will vote for you and carry your water no matter what.
I'm speechless. I mean, I don't get speechless much, but I'm sad. I'm very sad
That
for
shit
where we're
fucking
at.
gross.
I'm sad for where we're at.
It's just gross to hear it.
Can I give you another
pick
example
me up.
of how the left is thoroughly disgusting me today?
Please
Dog
do.
hair on my-
Seattle Public Schools
I'm here.
launched a program earlier this year in collaboration with Seattle Children's Hospital to provide gender-affirming products to kids in school. The products include, but are not limited to, chest binders, trans tape, nipple guards, and tucking underwear to middle and high school students to use at will. These supplies were provided by Seattle's Children's Hospital, placed in lockers for students to access beginning in March of 2025. This was according to emails obtained by the watchdog group Defending Education via the Freedom of Information Act and shared with National Review. So here is a school district, and look, schools are about a lot of different things, but shouldn't be schools be about truth?
I'm not even showing this shit, but
Shouldn't schools be about truth?
Yeah, don't show that.
How can
I
we
had to look
have?
because I didn't know what some of that shit was.
How can we have teachers and educators who don't understand the notion that you can go get all the surgery in the world, but you cannot change who you are at a cellular level, at the level of the chromosomes in your body? You can put on the makeup, you can wear the dress, you can get all the drugs, but that doesn't make you, if you're a boy, it doesn't make you a girl. and if you're a girl, it doesn't make you a boy.
Well,
and the fact that they cannot deal with that fundamental basic truth is a real sickness.
it is a
They
mental
teamed
illness.
up with a children's hospital to do this.
I'm getting that page out of my search history.
And
Jesus. What the fuck?
apparently, the parents had no idea this was going on. They had to do a FOIA request.
How old were the kids?
To get the middle schoolers and high schoolers.
I'll tell you right now.
So what? 6th, 7th, 8th grade,
I'll tell you right now.
and then up through high school.
If my kid was in that school, there would be hell to pay, and that is why I say it multiple times. School boards matter, and sadly, here locally, the Democrats have once again, through dirty politics, led by
There's a shocker. Pappas went local.
well, here's
He's absolutely right.
But he is right.
We have school board members.
we have 3 openings on the school board
within a 3 or 4 mile radius of where we're sitting right now who believe in this kind
We
of
just
shit.
made it longer than what the over under was.
Well, but my
we
point,
had a fan
my
delay.
point is that look, school boards matter. A lot of people say, well, this will never happen. People might be wherever. We have people listening from all over the place. Oh, this will never happen in my district.
That's where it starts.
That's exactly where it starts. And we have one particular school board member currently that seems oddly preoccupied in sexual discussions about your kids.
I'd say it's an obsession.
It's weird.
And then maybe bordering on a sickness.
And then what they did is we had 3 good solid candidates, and they went and did a hit piece using the local press on one of our candidates, and to the point where she had to bow out.
Was that
of the race.
about the ones that the kids were having parties at her house?
Kids had
that one.
The story is, if I'll put it this way, if I had called the newspaper and said, "Hey, newspaper, I have 2 instances in the last 6 months of someone, Democrat candidate A, her kid had 2 parties at her house when she was not home, and the police were called. Would you be interested in that?" You know what the paper would tell me? Fuck off. The paper would be like, "I'm not interested."
If it was a Democrat,
if it's a Democrat. But because of the collaboration with the local Democrat Party and local Democrat writers in your shitty local Democrat paper, they wrote a story. They started harassing her family. They've said horrible things online by some people that I know very well that have tried to scrub their social media feeds and comments, but we have those. And there may or may not be legal action against those people because they're defaming her family and herself, as a matter of fact, because they don't have the facts straight and they're running with innuendo and rumor. Mm-hmm. And it's not enough to let, this would have been my point in mentioning this. Would it have been a fair campaign issue to bring up to the campaign? Sure. Hey, listen, Bill over there, his kids had 2 parties while he was gone. Well, first of all, let me ask you this.
It's all public records. So the
it's all
police
public
reports
records
are there.
per se. It is. But I mean, you have on one side, you have a Democrat fantasizing about having someone's kids shot and murdered in their mother's
dying
arms,
in their mother's arms. Yeah.
And the Democrats let he without sin
cast the first time.
But then you had on the other side, these same type of people, these same cloth of people, these Democrats sit there and they say, "Oh, when she wasn't home, her son had 2 parties."
Well, the thing, if you listen to the way the stories were spun on the newscast, they create, and they didn't say it directly, but they created the illusion that these parties were done with her approval. Correct. That these parties were done with her
knowledge,
a wink and a nod.
Correct.
Well, it's just like any
kids
other.
Were getting shit faced at her house.
You've been in the media for a long time.
Yeah.
You've been in the media for a long time. That little short snippet is what grabs people. Nobody listens to the rest, and like we talked about, nobody fact checks and deep dives into it.
Well,
I'm not saying you're guilty of it. Maybe you were. I don't know. I haven't looked at every news story that you did while you've been in the media. Yeah, when you were on the news and whatever. But they get that one hit piece, like as Andrew said, a hit piece gets enough traction.
It was,
and then it's just, hey, did you read that?
It was. I call it drive-by journalism.
Yes,
not any
that's
different.
Fucking perfect. I love it.
Any different than a drive-by shooting, because they drive by. This reporterette does her little shitty report for the Inquirer. Okay, spoon-fed to her by a couple of local leftist activists,
agitators, I like to call them,
activists, one of which thinks he's a journalist, but he's nothing. There's nothing journalist about him. He's he works for the Playhouse and knows nothing of journalism. And they get their piece, and not only could they not let the voters decide, but they harassed her to the point. And we're talking a quality candidate here. I mean, a quality candidate runs a very big entity here in town that does a lot of good for a lot of people. I don't want to say too much.
I want to throw.
But then what they do is so that they can guarantee that that rather than 3 candidates, we only have 2. So they will get control of the school board. And that's why I say school boards matter. So,
but this is also fair. There's two comments from Joe Billy. And I want your guys' take on it. I have mine, but I want yours. So the first comment for the audio listeners, she goes, I mean, you're responsible for what your kids do, whether you're home or not.
Correct.
Which is a fair statement.
That's fact. I'll agree with that.
So the next one is, if cops get called to my house to deal with my unruly teenagers' underage drinking fest, I probably wouldn't be running for school board.
That's actually, let me tell you something. That's probably a fair comment. However, given the situation, she came home, she addressed it, she punished her child, this is best of my knowledge, punished her child, and took care of it. Now, first time, second time, maybe 2 times, you'd say, well, there's probably skeletons in my closet.
Wasn't there 2 instances?
Two separate instances, about 6 months apart.
Okay. I thought there were 2. So
I would like to say that, having kids, I mean, I don't have children, but a lot of people do, so they can relate to this. Kids do stuff a lot of times that you have to discipline them for. And so she's now, I mean, does it reflect on her that her son had a party when she was gone both times? Perhaps a little bit, maybe. I guess you could say that, but that's where my point is. Bring it up during the election. Let the voters decide. Don't do some piece of shit drive-by media thing that then you drive. I can name. So you had Patty Taylor. I mean, not to get in the weeds.
Well, walk down the street
Wait,
in Anderson Township and
talk
to
to
any parent who has had high school kids.
Yeah.
How many high school kids
have problems?
Have had a party at their house where the parents didn't know about it? They had to go out of town last minute. Kids are at home. Right. Parties happen. I mean, God, man, it's been a long time since
I was gonna say it's been a long time.
I'm going like 30, more than 30, 40, more than 40. So I'm thinking it's been a long time since I've been in high. I don't know exactly how long it's been.
I think her point.
But I'm saying this was happening back when I was in high school. Before I was in high school. This is what high school kids do.
But I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak for Jill.
She has a good point.
Because her and I have talked about it, because we made the joke about we were going to run for school board against each other in this same house.
She has
just to see who wins. But why would you put yourself out there?
Well, because
these assholes are going to they're going to deep dive into every closet that you have.
Let me tell you how those behind the scene conversations take place.
Let me tell you.
I think, Jill, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's where she's going with that.
So we did during the endorsement process. We asked. Now, first of all, when you're a party, you don't have the resources to do "quote unquote" background checks on all your candidates because background checks are expensive. But I mean, the point of the matter is, we asked, "Is there anything that you think might preclude you from running for office?" And the answer we got was no. So she obviously thought this was, something that happened.
Water under the bridge,
done, whatever. My point is this is where we've gone now as a society and as a local party.
And it was water under the bridge.
Until the Democrats found, wait a second, as I stated initially.
This is what I like about this.
If I had approached the newspaper with the exact same story, given a Democrat rather than a Republican, your local paper would not have aided and abetted in drive-by journalism.
No, I completely agree with that, Andrew.
So it would have been left up. It would have been a valid point for the campaign during the general election that the voters could then decide. But the Democrat Party here locally did not want that to occur because she really, I don't want to say too much, but she is a very, very qualified candidate in her professional capacity with what she does as a profession.
Correct. Did the newspaper give, and I don't know the answer to
There's
this
good
question.
people that get pushed out all the fucking time for just some dumb bullshit.
And
did the paper give her a chance to make a statement on this or respond to these questions
No, not to the best
before
of my
the article
knowledge.
ran?
No, not to the best of my knowledge. The paper just ran with the story because
Did
the
she come
paper
out and
did
make
not
a
write
statement?
the story. The person that wrote the story and spoon-fed it
Yeah.
to the paper was a couple of local activists here
Right.
in Anderson Township. Okay?
But did they as a responsible journalist, did they go to her and say, "Look, we've got this information"?
Responsible journalists? No, I think what happened was I don't
It's
believe
hard to
so.
find that.
But responsible
nowadays.
journalism does not exist. And the reason I said spoon-fed it is because on the Democrat pages, they had like 3 weeks notice about this and were alluding to something big was going to happen. However, my point is, how are we as a society, okay, since this is now fair play, since you're going to now play let's screw you, because it goes both ways. You can screw people and then get screwed. Reminds me of a funny line from a movie. But the point is, if you know the line I'm talking about, I think Jason does. But I mean, point is, how are you going to get decent people that can bring their professional skill sets to either a school board, to a trustee board, to any type of board in public that you would
County
have to have
commissioners,
county commissioners, whatever it is. But albeit you're going to destroy them personally, right? You're not going to get good people to run for any office on any side.
Because there is nobody that's perfect,
There's
and nobody
nobody
wants
that's
to put
perfect.
themselves on Front Street.
And, rather than the same people, like I said, that are holding her accountable and drove her from the race for actions of her son while she was not at home, somehow feel it's perfectly fine to absolve a guy that fantasized about having his political opponent's children killed.
Same mindset, yeah.
And I don't understand. You cannot square those two things. They just don't occur. If it's one is bad,
Square hole, round peg
That's
doesn't
right.
work.
But she is doing what? She is stepping down, stepping away to do what's best for her family.
correct. She
That's
has
why
to protect her family.
now
yeah.
she's doing
That's
fucking damage
her
control
priority.
in her personal life, which
In her
sucks.
personal life. Listen,
Yeah.
they've
They
driven.
have to do that damage control. You
There's
shouldn't have to
two
fucking
past
do it.
school board. Now, not to dwell too much on logo, but there's two past school board conservatives that have been not only driven from office through harassment by your
Yeah.
pack dog Democrats, they've also been driven to move out of the township, not because of anything they've done, just because of the harassment they've seen. Received from the local
threats and harassment. Absolutely.
from your local Democrat party.
And
And I have not heard one Democrat that's endorsed by these same buffoons, these same assholes, condemn this behavior. So
No, that's it.
game on, people.
It's good behavior
Game
for
on.
them.
I'll tell you straight up. I guarantee you, we can be bigger assholes at the end of the day. And if that's what you want to become, that's fine. I've got nothing better. I got a lot of time on my hands.
Yes, he does.
We'll be bigger assholes, and God forbid you ever ran a red light or anything else, because they make up stories and they're aided and abetted by a willing, complicit liberal media that has an agenda. That's all. My
fact.
soapbox over.
But that stems from local all the
Local,
way
that
up.
goes up. My
All
point
the
is,
way up.
we were talking
correct.
about
You
a
were
school
absolutely
board
correct.
in Seattle that allowed this shit to happen without parents' knowledge. And someone would say, how does this happen?
Oh.
And it happens because you don't get good people locally to run for these school boards because they say,
Right.
I don't need this shit. So you get somebody that hyphenates, that's got 3 doctoral degrees and shit, that's going to serve on the goddamn school board, that's going to push this liberal bullshit
I knew he was going
down your kid's throat.
Well-
and then you're going to sit there and say, how did this happen? This is how it happens. There, I'm done.
Well, and that's
Where's the Tylenol?
what they just did right there is they took a page out of the Obama playbook, and that is clear the field. That is, if you have an opponent that you can't beat, then you dig up dirt on them, whether it's true or not true or right or wrong, and you put it out there, and you clear the playing field. Just to close out this segment,
Speaking of
Oh,
schools,
we started
speaking
with
of schools,
You say close out the segment. We got this one,
Well,
then we got the video of that woman at the school board.
we
meeting.
got to get to Miss Cleo.
So
Yeah,
we're gonna do this first.
yeah.
Then we got
Okay.
the
but
woman
yeah,
at
but
the
we
school
started
board
off talking about how Pete Heggs has said your diversity is not your strength, and this whole notion of diversity, equity, and inclusion filters down through all of Democrat politics these days. And so this is an example of what diversity brings you. This is a transgender school bus driver who goes by the name of Miss Sharon.
Ms. Sharon.
It's
Yeah.
Miss Cleo.
Arrested in North Carolina on multiple charges of
Actually,
sexual abuse against minors,
Juveniles. It should be
ages 14 to 15.
Yeah.
victimized at least 4 children, according to police.
So horrible.
Even offering at least one money for sexual acts, according to the arrest affidavit.
It's disgusting.
So this individual ought to have DEI tattooed on his forehead, because this is what this nonsense brings you. Okay.
Probably they celebrate. They might have even celebrated the hiring of this person. How open-minded they were to hire this person.
Yeah. I mean, do you do a deep dive background check on this individual to drive a school bus and be interacting?
I would like to think that anybody
impressionable
that interacts
teenagers
with,
day in and
I don't
day
know
out.
the resources of schools, and that's a great question. Do schools do background checks on all their hires because they're dealing with kids?
They should be.
Well, but do they have the resources?
When I teach at the vocational school, I have to go through a BCI check.
What is that?
I have to pay for it and then present it.
What is that? What's BCI?
Like through the state. So
how much that cost?
Was it $50? I think.
Well, it can't be very deep of a dive.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm just telling you what I do as an instructor. I have to get my BCI check done.
I would like to,
and then it gets turned over to them. They look at it.
I would like to think, with all of the administration that we seem to have right in our school districts,
they do background check.
I would like to think that they would be able to do background checks on anybody that is in charge of being with children.
They should be doing so. That should be happening.
But as
far as I know,
as well as I do.
What's the over under? Hold on, real quick. What's the over under on Ms. Sharon? What's the over under that his name is Bruce?
Well,
what's the over under?
I don't know. I don't know if the article says what this dude's name really is.
You don't want to put it over.
Can I ask a question? Is this a guy pretending to be a woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
When this person got hired, they were so excited because they get to virtue signal.
Oh yeah.
Look how diverse we are.
Oh, no question.
We've got a transgender woman driving our school bus.
No question.
Aren't we great? Now you have kids, at least 4, whose lives are probably going to be affected in ways that we will never know.
I hope their family, not that it makes them whole, but I hope their family holds the school district accountable and sues them for untold gazillions of dollars.
And so, look, it starts even at the earliest ages, and we'll close out the segment. We had a video earlier of a guy who was talking about Charlie Kirk, and you really couldn't say it much better than that guy. Here's a mom with her young child who is about to go into the school system, and she brings some hard truth to the school board, and we need, God bless this woman. We need more women like this.
I'm very glad you said that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic speech. Just what is about 2.5 minutes long, I think. No, it's only 1:43. But listen to this. She's fantastic.
Mom of 2 in Fairfax County.
Fairfax County, Virginia.
Oldest.
How about that? Virginia.
Weird.
And my husband and I have a difficult decision to make this fall as he is approaching preschool age, and we are faced with the decision of whether or not we are going to put our child in public school system where Fairfax County has decided to move forward with instituting gender studies in elementary school. Despite having done a study group, a focus group in the community to see if parents even wanted this. And when parents said no, the board voted 16-0 and said we're moving forward anyways. This shows clearly that they see parents not as partners, but as an obstacle for their agenda. And I have a really hard time looking at him and going, here, I'm just going to give you over to people who do not want to partner with me in how you're going to be raised. School and education is a huge part of a child's life. And early childhood is supposed to be filled with exploration and creativity and fun, not debating issues that are for adults to handle. These kinds of topics should be introduced sensitively and by parents who are raising their children with their values, not with an ideology passed down from the top.
And God bless that woman. I mean, she really exposes the ugly underbelly of this, and that is that so many of these people who are in these positions really want to usurp parent rights. They want to take the rights of the parents and put that on themselves and make these monumentally important decisions that the parents should be making because they feel that, well, they just know a lot more than your regular average parent, and they're the ones who know what's best for these kids, and they're the ones who ought to be making these decisions.
No question.
It really is sick.
No question, it's sick. And I would say to her, run from that school district. Run from that.
Fairfax, Virginia.
Fairfax, Virginia.
God, one of the most liberal counties in the United States of America.
If you can get out, or private, homeschool or private school your kid. You owe it to them. You wonder why the children aren't learning. I don't understand when this obsession with sexual agenda became a thing in the schools. I mean, it's not like these kids are getting smarter. I mean, you see the test results. Public schools are failing all across this nation, and school boards do matter. And I would suggest, even though, for example, locally, that the Democrats will gain control of the school board here for the next 2 years at least. We need parents to show up. You need to go to your school board meeting. You need to be like this mom. They voted 16-0 against what the community wanted, and she had the balls to show up with her kid and say, and speak. And it's not easy. I got to be honest with you. Some people don't like public speaking.
People talk about courage. That woman is displaying a lot of courage right there.
That woman has courage because she's a mom and she's protecting her kid. And a lot of people are like, you know what? I don't want to get, I got to be, this is one of my deals. And I get really pissed off. Well, actually I stay pretty pissed off, but the point of the matter is that
somebody said earlier, let him cook, let him cook.
The problem
he was on a rant.
Well, here's the problem. So many people say, I don't have the time. I'm too busy. I just don't want to get involved. I don't want to say anything that the teachers might take it out on my kid in school. Mm-hmm. I kind of get that on one hand.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. But you know what? You owe it to your kid to be just like this mom and not take their shit and not take a 16 they couldn't find one person
out
on
of
that
16
board.
Think about that.
To say,
that 16-0 shocked
school,
the shit out of me.
Elementary school. I got to be honest with you. I was a late bloomer. Dan, you haven't even bloomed yet.
You came out of the womb that fucking Harry. You didn't late bloom. Come on, easy now.
Whatever happened to let kids be kids, man?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the innocence of youth? Why do you have to introduce sexual anything from in the fifth?
Well, that's how deranged these people are. They think if you watch these videos from these teachers that are in these schools and interact with these kids, they act as if this is the only thing on their mind, that they want to know about the pronouns. They want to know about transgenderism. They want to know about their teachers' sex lives. That's complete bullshit. I mean, look, you and I, we all went to elementary school. Mm-hmm. When I was in kindergarten or first grade or second grade, the only thing I cared about was when is recess. That right. That was the
snack time and nap time.
Yeah, that was the only thing I cared about. I think I kissed a girl in the first grade, and but that was about as far as it went. And I thought that was a huge thing. But for God's sake,
remember that? You remember kissing a girl in the first
grade? Del Park School. I can see it in my mind right now.
Oh my God.
There was a tree stump back there behind the playground.
That's a whole other podcast.
I forget her name, but
I forget her name.
I do forget her name, but we kissed each other back there on the tree stump.
So special.
Right, it was right at the end of recess, and we had to run back inside the classroom.
Not very.
Thought I was hot shit, man.
I was hot shit.
He strolled back into the classroom like just walking like, yeah, that happened.
I got swag, buddy.
I got swag. Carrying his Evel Knievel lunchbox.
How many?
I did love Evel Knievel.
How many ex-girlfriends do you think you have in your life?
Who, me?
Yeah, or both of you?
Oh, for God's sake!
Jesus.
I mean,
that's a deep question.
Just throw an over/under number.
I have absolutely no idea.
You guys are both fucking ancient.
It's been a long time. I mean,
I'm pulling. I'm switching gears, but I'm pulling this up because I found it amusing. Firefighter dumped 75 possibly used tampons
Possibly is.
on ex's lawn
Is there a question
for
after,
dating a new girl.
Look, I grew up in a house with three sisters, so
I mean, how long?
I don't think
take,
there's any question of whether or not they're used.
how long? I don't.
So
I-
I'll get to that.
how long does it take to get to 75? I mean, it takes a while. You're saving them up for a while,
Oh,
right?
If they're true and
You're
actually
batting 1,000
marinating,
because
it's
they
fucking
know.
gross. That's nasty.
I mean, her hair is interesting.
DeLand, Florida. Firefighter was accused of stalking after she allegedly dumped 75 possibly used tampons onto her ex-boyfriend's lawn when she learned that he was dating a new woman.
Seems that would be a health concern, would it not?
I would think so.
imagine-
I would not want those things in my house. Volusia County Sheriff's Office was contacted by a woman on September 30th after her boyfriend woke up to find a pile of tampons on the front lawn that they were, in quotes, stained red as if they were possibly used, end quotes, according to a probable cause arrest affidavit.
Mm.
Police
What's
review-
the message there?
I showed him.
Yeah, right.
I got him.
Exactly. Police reviewed security camera recordings that showed a pickup truck driving past the house at around 10 p.m. on September 29th. Per the affidavit, a woman allegedly sat in the truck bed until traffic cleared, at which point she jumped out and threw 75 tampons
75.
into the front yard.
That's like the jumbo box, isn't it? It's,
Like
you get that you buy
that's
that
not-
at Costco or
It's
something.
Not,
You
it's
get-
not. That's not my purview. Okay.
I'm just
Not-
saying. I don't
When
know.
the
Not
couple
going to
was
the store
asked
picking those up.
who they believe was behind the crime, they reportedly both pointed the finger at Gabrielle Franz.
There might be some DNA
a
evidence.
firefighter
I
with
think
Orange
there's
County
some
Fire
evidence,
Rescue
right?
and the ex-girlfriend of the man living in the home. They said it was likely her, in quotes, demonstrating she was unhappy, in quotes, that her ex-boyfriend was dating a new person. How fucking funny is that shit? I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have a teacher for this episode, but
Hell
I
hath,
found a female firefighter that
hell hath no
wanted to
fury.
dump
Is that-
wanted to dump some fucking some plugs.
You're gonna be talking about that at the firehouse, won't you?
Oh, I guarantee it's gonna
Oh, my
happen.
God.
I showed him.
You nailed it.
I got him. Like,
Right,
he'll never
right after
mess,
the Dan Savage conversation.
he'll never mess with me again. He
So it came out like further in the story. It was her mom and her aunt traveled in because she was distraught with the breakup, and they painted them.
they painted it.
They painted them,
okay.
but
So that wait, they helped her?
yes,
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, mom,
And
and
they
not,
drove
not a
back-
good look, mom.
They drove back to
not
their
a good look.
probably
Yeah,
laughed
not a
driving
good
all the way back to their trailer.
Yes,
I mean, you
exactly.
know, I mean, whatever.
Exactly.
I mean,
Thank you.
My God.
Thank you for saying that, Pappas, because
Well,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's just whatever. I mean, the fact is that's a story out of Florida.
We haven't had a teacher in a while, but I saw that one. I was like, oh, it's a fireman, so they'll fuck with me about it. But
There you go.
that shit's funny as fuck.
Well, it's
I love it.
It's a story that's gone national and it happened in Florida. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. We got enough sick things to talk about locally. So I don't know what we're going to talk about. We got to do a plug.
What
What
else
are
we
we
got?
doing here?
Yeah, we'll do a plug, but I'm trying to figure out what else we got.
I know
left.
time is flying by.
Time is
man.
flying by.
It is.
Oh my God.
Well, it's hard. It's hard when you two command the microphone.
We got on a roll.
You
I'm
guys,
sorry.
you
We got
guys,
on a
you guys do
roll.
great.
Passion.
You guys
It's
do
hard.
great.
It's hard to put my passion in a bottle.
We'll do the ad read, and then you guys can figure out where we're going to go from here. How's
All right.
that? And then we'll finish her out. Does that sound fair?
Sounds good to me.
Hi, everyone. Dan Carroll here. Time to tell you about a great new sponsor for the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. It's Murphy Engraving. Murphy Engraving is the place to go for your business, industrial, and personal engraving needs. Take a look at the Murphy Engraving page on Facebook, and you're going to see all kinds of unique items that really seem to take on a life of their own because they've been customized with an image, a name, or a logo, and all of it just really beautifully done. The acrylic sports awards that light up are especially creative and very cool. The customized bottles of bourbon, those are my personal favorite. And wait till you see what they can do with items that are made out of wood. The next time you want to recognize someone special or you're looking for that one-of-a-kind gift, you'll be glad you checked out Murphy Engraving. And a bonus, you're supporting a local family-owned business run by brothers Brian and Kevin, who is a lifetime firefighter and Air Force vet. At Murphy Engraving, they turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and at Murphy Engraving, we are American-made. All right.
American made.
All right, we got to wrap it up, and we want to wrap it up. I think this will put a smile on your face. We talked a lot about truth.
Look at you try to sound like Hannity.
We
We
talked
put
a lot
smile
about,
on your face.
There used to be such a thing as truth in advertising. I don't know. This has got to be a parody. I don't think
it's definitely a parody.
They put this out there as if this was an actual produced commercial that never ran, but
would have been awesome if it did.
Yeah, it touches a lot of touchstones from my younger days, but it is extremely well done. Let's all enjoy this together. Here we go.
Drink your milk, kids. I don't want milk. Milk's for babies.
Yeah, babies.
Well, yeah? Well, I happen to know that milk helps build strong bones. So drink up. Well, Mr. Miller told me he never drinks milk. Look at him.
Yeah.
Hi, kids.
So you got to narrate it, Dan. For the audio listeners, you got to narrate.
That's so I don't want milk.
So the kids don't want to drink their milk, and Mom says, "Hey, look at Mr. Miller next door. He and the kids say, well, he said he never drinks milk, and he's doing just fine." So
guys like 80 fucking.
They
years
cut to
old.
Mr. Miller. He's got a wheelbarrow full of shit, and he waves it. "Hi, kids!" And he stands up trying to pull the wheelbarrow up, and his arms rip off.
And then they down the milk.
They start drinking the milk. Oh my God!
I think that would have got the point across.
That is very, very clever.
That's a way to end the
That's
show.
very
on a-
well
on a-
done.
on a
That's
nice-
fantastic.
On a funny note. That's a good job.
Now I want to see who gets upset about that one. So
We'll
go
see.
ahead and weigh in.
I'm sure I'll get an angry worded.
You got to
email.
admit though, that's pretty funny.
I loved it.
Hi, kids. My arms off.
I was giggling my ass off when I saw it when he said it to me. Well, guys, we appreciate you guys being here.
We need more commercials like that.
We will. Yeah, we do.
They don't make anything funny.
Let's
anymore.
bring it back.
Humor's dead.
I believe we're
Why
going to
do you
be
get
back.
so offended?
We're going to be back here. I
People get
believe
offended
next
every-
Saturday. At
I
least
think-
me
I
and
mean,
Dano,
funny
maybe
commercials.
Pappas,
You have very thin
as they
skin.
do their little outro
I got that.
angry old men talks. But
I think the word is
next
snowflake.
Saturday, we appreciate you. We
I'm a
love you.
snowflake.
Make sure you share,
I'm gonna show you a snowflake.
subscribe, like, do all the things, and we'll see you then.
Andrew Snowflake.